Hey, it's Kyle here, and today I'll be reviewing the newest episode of The Mandalorian, The Spies. Before I get started with this review, as a warning, this will include spoilers, so if you haven't watched the episode yet, please stop watching this review, go watch the episode, and then come back and watch my review. And with that warning away, let's talk about The Spies. So right away with the start of this episode, we get taken back to Coruscant, and every time we go back to Coruscant, I absolutely love it, love the atmosphere, the vibe, everything about it. I know Andor, I believe in season 2 will probably focus a lot on Coruscant, but both it and The Mandalorian doing some Coruscant stuff definitely wants me at some point to have a series completely based on Coruscant, be it live action or animated. Coruscant is just such an amazing setting. I love it so much. I just want to see more of it. I think it'd just be a cool setting for a series. But we quickly find out that our ex-Imperial on Coruscant that everybody assumed was probably a spy for Gideon, is a spy for Gideon, and we see Gideon for the first time this season, and that's when he finds out that the Mandalorians are beginning to unite, and he quickly understands, I need to do something about that. And then we get in what to me was the coolest part of the episode, just because of what it revealed and stuff like that. We get the Shadow Council, which is amazing, which Moff Gideon's a part of, and we find out that all the various Imperial warlords around the galaxy have actually been a part of this council, and we get the very cool reveal that the current head of the council is Captain Pellaeon, which is obviously Grand Admiral Thrawn's number 2. Captain Pellaeon was always one of my favorite characters in the old Expanded Universe books. Absolutely loved him. I always knew when there was a book and Pellaeon was a character in it, even after Thrawn went away in the original Expanded Universe, I always knew, oh, Pellaeon's going to be there. Oh, it's going to be a good book. So I was very excited to see him in live action, even though if it was just in hologram form. And then we also see that the Elder Hux is a part of the Shadow Council as well. And they're clearly the 2 dominant ones. But this council is set up for Grand Admiral Thrawn, even though Moff Gideon quickly makes the point that Thrawn just never attends these meetings, and almost implies they're beginning to suspect that like maybe Pellaeon's just using Thrawn's name to try to roll, but Thrawn's not really out there. So I'm guessing we'll get a Thrawn reveal hopefully in the season finale of The Mandalorian, but we'll see. But I enjoyed that entire scene a lot, and that's when Moff Gideon informs the rest of the Shadow Council about the threat of the Mandalorians, and the Shadow Council does take that seriously enough that they give him reinforcements to kind of deal with this issue, because they realize a unified Mandalore will definitely not be the best thing for future Imperial plans. So that we get the unification, or the reunion, I should say, of the Mandalorian 2 groups, where Bo brings her original group to Navarro to meet the children of the Watch, and there is a lot of tension there, but they're able to kind of put it aside initially to kind of go on this mission to reclaim their homeworld in Mandalore. And I do like we're getting this tension, like it just said bring the 2 groups together and they're just like immediately best friends, so I do like this tension a lot. I wouldn't mind if they played it up a little bit more, maybe like if somebody just refused to go along with it. And who knows, maybe we'll see that at some point. Obviously we did see some scuffles later on in the episode, but I keep on expecting, like throughout this episode, like somebody to kind of like betray the entire group because they're mad that these 2 groups are working together. To kind of go along with what Bo and all the other Mandalorians have been talking about, that a big reason why the Mandalorians were so easy to conquer throughout history or dominate was that they're so often not unified. They're always fighting amongst themselves. So I wouldn't mind, or I wouldn't be shocked if we see that in the season finale. But when we get to Mandalore, we get a really cool reveal, and this is one I was not expecting, that there's actually been a handful of Mandalorian survivors on the surface who are not aware that Mandalore actually surrendered to the Empire, which I guess that means they're not aware that the Empire has fallen either. They assume they're still kind of like a part of that struggle, I'm assuming. So that was a very cool reveal that I was not expecting at all. Again, I was a little surprised that when they found out that Bo had surrendered, that there wasn't more pushback there. I could have dealt with a little bit of tension there, or somebody kind of like having a blow up at her, like, what do you mean you surrendered? We've been down here for years, just scraping by, and you gave up. What's the deal with that? But I don't know. That was maybe my only really critique, that I would like to have seen a little bit more of Mandalorian conflict to make it maybe a little realistic. Not that I want to see Mandalorian conflict. It just seems more realistic based on what we know about the Mandalorians. We get the that very cool beast attack there, I guess is a good way to phrase it. Nothing really to add on that, but that sets up quickly into Moff Gideon springing his trap with his Imperials against the Mandalorians, against the little kind of recon party that's been sent to the surface to try to find the Great Forge. And neat battle scene. Not surprisingly, it's a trap, and again, I was a little disappointed the Mandalorians fell in the trap so easily, but again, I can kind of understand that because they're so maybe excited to be back on their home world and to reclaim it. I could see them being a little overzealous, and Gideon plays into that and traps them, and specifically traps Din, and then we see Din captured, and Moff Gideon come down in his new armor, which is absolutely amazing. That looks awesome. Props on the design for that. And they take Din away. I actually thought Moff Gideon was going to unmask Gideon in front of all the other Mandalorians. That I thought it would have been a nice touch, especially since we haven't seen Din's face this entire season. Maybe we'll get to see that in the season finale during his interrogation or torture. But that was kind of my initial thought when he captured, like, oh, he's going to take his helmet off. That just didn't happen. And then brazenly, Gideon basically demands Bo, hey, give me back your darksaber. I don't know if he actually thought that was going to work, or if he was trying to just goad her into fighting right then so he could destroy the rest of the group before they got away. As they're making their escape, he orders the fleet, the Mandalorian fleet above, to be attacked by his Imperial ship. So shaping up to be amazing season finale, because I'm guessing we're going to get a very cool, maybe our biggest space battle we've ever seen in Star Wars live action on TV. So that is going to be amazing. I'm very excited for that. Obviously, we still have Bo and the rest of her group that was with her on the surface. I'm sure we'll get some fighting that. Obviously, if somebody's going to try to rescue Din, that would be very cool. I just realized I completely forgot to talk about one of the cooler parts episode when we were on Navarro, and IG-11, or now IG-12, has been turned into this cool little exoskeleton for Grogu, and now he's able to control that and actually talk through it. So a lot of people suspected, like, would Grogu actually talk for the first time in this season? He did, just through the IG unit, with a lot of yeses and nos, and it's fun to kind of see him play along with that, and steal fruit from a produce stand until Din's able to control him, and just him clearly having fun, be able to walk around and keep up with all the other Mandalorians. Very awesome. Again, that was something I hadn't thought of with the IG storyline. I figured it was going to come back at some point, otherwise I didn't really understand why they brought it up in the season premiere. But it becoming an exoskeleton for Grogu was not something I would have ever guessed. So I thought that was a very nice touch and very cool. But for the season finale coming up, again, I assume we're going to see a big old battle for Mandalorian. I don't know who's going to come up on top. I guess my initial prediction is I don't think Gideon will necessarily be the ultimate victor. It wouldn't surprise me to see the Imperials inflict a lot of damage on Gideon, but I think Gideon trying to assert himself as a dominant leader among the Shadow Council might lead to a reaction from Thrawn, and I'm not sure we'll see Thrawn in the season finale, but I could see some forces loyal to Thrawn, maybe under Pelion's control, showing up and taking care of Gideon. And maybe they claim victory over the Mandalorians. I'm not sure if we'll see the Mandalorians victorious on Mandalore or not, so for the season finale, but I'm very excited to see where it leads. Spies was a very interesting episode, and I think it did a good job of setting up what looks to be an amazing season finale. So let me know in the comment section below, what did you think of Spies? What was your favorite part of the episode? If you enjoyed this review, please hit that like button. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate the support. Thanks for watching. I'll see you the next time, and may the force be with you.